Good day and thanks for joining us today. In our class today, we'll be looking at the lookup functions. The lookup functions, we have two of them basically, which is VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. The lookup values, as the name implies, is used to look up or to retrieve values from a data set, right? So looking at this data, we have the serial number column, the employee name, department, scores, and then grades, remark, and then grade H lookup. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to retrieve the grades and remarks of each of these students, right? Pardon me, each of these staff members. Okay, so let's assume they wrote a kind of a promotional exam and these are their scores, right? Now you have to grade them and also give remarks. Okay, the first thing to do is to design this table, all right, where you capture all the scores, assigning grades and remarks to each and every one of them. Okay, after which you now start to retrieve as the case may be. Now VLOOKUP simply means vertical lookup, while for HLOOKUP it means horizontal lookup. The only reason we hear more of VLOOKUP is because we have our tables in the vertical format most times. Alright, of course, VLOOKUP is used when you have a vertical table, while HLOOKUP is used when you have a horizontal table. They do the same thing, right? So let's calculate or let's retrieve the grade here using VLOOKUP. So you write your VLOOKUP function, open it with the tab key. Now you supply your syntax. What is the lookup value? The lookup value is the score here. You select it and put your comma. It will not ask you what is your table array. A table array is the table you have designed. So you select the entire table. Please ensure you lock it by pressing F4 just once. Then comma. It will not ask you your column index number. Your column index number is the index number of what you're retrieving, right? Now we are retrieving grade, and grade in this table is in column 2. Scores is column 1, grade is column 2, and remark is column 3. So just type in 2 and then you put your comma symbol. The last argument will be, is it approximate match or exact match? Now it is approximate because the scores of the staff members you have in the parent table, all the scores are actually represented in this smaller table. However, you can't find all of them physically there. You only have a kind of approximation of all these figures in this smaller table. That is why we have to select approximate match, right? Now let's hit the enter key and then you autofill. So it will retrieve everything for us, right? Same thing goes for remark, is same thing. Equal sign, VLOOKUP, you supply your syntax. Of course, lookup value, same score here. You put your comma sign and then you select your table array, which is still same table. Do not forget to lock it using the F4 button, and then you select your comma symbol. It will not ask you for your column index number. Remember, we are now returning remarks, and remark is what? column 3. Put your comma again and select the approximate match, and then you end it. It gives us the remark. Then you can autofill, right? Okay, now let's do something here. Let's use a range of steps to calculate and make it faster. So you highlight the two of them. You write your lookup function, VLOOKUP. Lookup value remains this. Table array, of course, a smaller table. Remember, lock it with F4. Now, your column index number, because we are returning two different columns, you have to use the curly bracket, which is immediately after your letter P button. So you insert the curly bracket and type in column 2 bracket 3, pardon me, column 2 comma 3, and then you close it using same curly bracket. Put your comma and supply the last argument, which is your approximate match, and then you end it. Control Enter. Control Enter did not do it, so let's use Control Shift Enter. So let's quickly do it again. Let's quickly do it again. Alright. Highlight the two. VLOOKUP. Lookup value remains this figure here. Table array, of course, you select the table. Lock it with F4 once. Supply grade and remark, which is 2, 3. You close the curly brackets. Select your approximate match. Enter. Then let's try Control Shift Enter. So that solves it, and then you can autofill. Right click and drag. Alright, so that is it. Then for the HLOOKUP, you will have to convert this table to a horizontal table. And in one of our classes, we learned how to do that. You highlight the entire table, you copy with Ctrl C, you click where you want it to be, and you press Alt HVT. That converts the table, as you can see. Then you can now retrieve your grade HLOOKUP. You write your HLOOKUP function equal HLOOKUP. Lookup value same 68. Table array, of course, you select this table instead. You lock with F4. Now your row index number, we are returning grade, and grade is in row 2. And then you select your approximate match, and then you close it. So that also has returned this. Now you can autofill. So as you can see, it's quite easy, and thank you so much for watching.